Guys, welcome to the Live Well, Love Strong podcast. This is our first episode, and we're talking with a really special mom named Cindy. Cindy is a dear friend and also a superstar in our community. She's a passionate advocate, a community builder, and a proud mom of two. Her youngest child, a joyful and resilient 4-year-old, lives with agripoposis, and you're going to say it better for me, multiplex congenita.
Arthrogryposis.
Arthrogryposis. And it's a rare condition that shaped Cindy's journey in the world of special needs parenting. She brings honesty, humor, and a heart, and I can testify to the heart, to every conversation. And she's committed to building spaces where families like hers feel seen, supported, and empowered. Oh my God, you're such a rock star. I love it. I'm so excited.
Well, thanks for having me. I'm very excited to be with you because you are one of my inspirations.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Okay, so what I want to do with this podcast and with our conversations is just talk to moms. I want to talk about our journey. I want to talk about the things we've learned. And I just want to give us a voice, kind of like what you were saying, being seen, heard, and supported. And so, guys, listening to the podcast, if you don't know, Cindy is a pastor, and she is an amazing pastor. And you were doing this before you had Zippy, right?
Yeah. Yeah, I've been a pastor officially ordained in 2018, and Zippy was born in 2021.
Okay, wow.
So,
Okay, and so y'all, we've chosen to talk to Cindy this morning. Our topic is God, spirituality, and how it like affects this journey, how it affects us, and how how we've grown to have a different understanding, a better understanding. Who knows? I don't know. I want to hear your experience. So, what is God to you? What is it? Who is it? Is
oh gosh. Well, I can tell you a lot of things that I think God isn't.
Yeah, let's do that first.
Uh,
Yes.
which I think God isn't uh, a male only figure. I also don't think God is only out to help those who uh, are capable in certain ways that we assign them to be, or people who have the resources already at their disposal. I think that God is for everyone, that God created everyone. I think that God is bigger than anything that we could ever imagine, and yet small enough to be a part of each person, regardless of whether they believe or don't believe
I
that
love
God
that.
exists.
I love
Yeah.
that. Big enough um, that I don't even understand. Like, I don't think my brain can wrap around how big and
Yeah. And I think,
awesome God is, but also, yeah,
right.
it's a part of us every single day, and we're just normal people here trying to do our best.
Yeah. And I think the amazing thing about God is that there's so much love and grace. And I think that once we realize that in some of our limited capacity, that just overflows out of us and around us and extends into all the aspects of our life, which is
Yeah.
one of the best things about living on this side of heaven.
Oh, I love it. I love that. I love that. What I've been learning or what I've been noticing in my journey with Mary Elizabeth is my view of God, my understanding of God has expanded.
Yes.
And so I used to think what I was taught, growing up in the church, but I used to think that there were limits or that I was limited or I wasn't worthy if I wasn't perfect or, whatever. And I'm realizing now that God is so much bigger than that. He's already won all that. Like all the little
Yeah.
things that I'm worrying about on a day-to-day basis, God's got that. Like it's done. And
Mhm.
so, yeah, it's just hard for me to fathom how big.
Yeah. And I think that's one of the hard parts about like we come with our, limited knowledge from whatever we have, whether we went to church or didn't go to church or had came from a different religious tradition overall. And then all of a sudden here we are in this special needs parenting journey. And it's like, okay, well, is this because I deserved it? Whether because I did something wrong or because God thought that, oh, well, I could handle it. Like, and I think that those theologies can be so tricky and get us into like a slippery slope that that really, I think you have to think about it from so much wider lens than that. I think that we do have free will, I believe, and I think that sometimes things just happen and God lets them happen because God is going to work through all things. Not saying that God assigned me my son because I did something wrong, and not because I'm so amazing of a person that I I was the best parent for him. And certainly God is going to work through me and use me. But when people would say, oh, well, God gave you, Zippy because that's my son's name, that
Special boy for
you,
a special mom. That's right.
yes. And I'm like, but what about all those children out there who have these special needs and they're not getting the care that they
Yeah.
need and they're being put up for adoption or just being left in a corner or whatever the case might be. And I don't think that that's a fair assessment. And so I've really had to grapple with my own theology, and that has inspired me to really make sure that when people say things, I say something back to challenge it
Yeah.
in love.
I love that. I love that, Cindy. Yeah. For the longest time, people would say, oh, God gave you Mary Elizabeth because you're such a great mom, And it was kind of like, or because God doesn't give you more than you can handle, right? And I
Mm-hmm,
used to
mm-hmm,
say, are you kidding me? This is way more than I can handle. Like I cannot
right?
handle this. Yet somehow I do every day. And I think that's grace. That being said, yeah, I did not get this gift because I call Mary Elizabeth a gift now. I didn't get it because I was good or because I was worthy or any of it. Yeah, and honestly, I don't know why I got it.
Yeah, and I don't even know if there's necessarily like any rhyme or reason to it besides the fact that like God is going to work through it with us. And I mean, I've grown so much, but I've also grown my community. Like I wouldn't have met you if it
Yeah,
weren't for my children, if it weren't for my son, and if it weren't for your daughter. Like, and I think that that's the beautiful thing is people want to say the nice things, which also gets them off the hook. But and I definitely have been guilty of saying nice things like that, which when you dig into the deeper meaning, you're like, wait, I really can't handle this on my own. And that's the thing is that God is going to be there through it with us. And that's also through our community. And I think that God shows up in the people around us. And that is what we're supposed to be living into every day is we are the body of Christ and we are to usher in the kingdom of heaven right here, right now. We're not waiting around for something to happen. We are to do the work and to be the hands and feet and voice and all the things.
oh my God, I love it. Yes, 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 yes. And sometimes, and I'm just hypothesizing because I don't know, and that's one thing I want to say about God is like I don't know. I
Right.
believe it, but I have no idea, and it's just so much bigger than my own understanding. So that's where I am. But hypothetically, um, Mary Elizabeth, Zippy, these children are the ultimate connection in this world. And that's what I've
100%.
learned is that the people that I have met that are doing the body of Christ work, that are living it, that are breathing love daily, are in this community. And I
Yes,
don't think that's an accident or an exception.
right.
It is true for almost every person that I've met along this journey. There are moms that put their kids in the closet. So I'll just put that aside. But for the most part, I feel like we were wired for connection, right? Just
Yeah,
biologically, let's not talk about spiritual, just biologically, we're wired for connection. And this gift, this kid has connected me and herself, to love, to beauty,
yeah,
to people that are bursting with light. And I don't think that's by accident. I don't know.
no way.
That is purposeful by design, and I don't understand it yet. But yeah. So
I think I think our kids teach us two things. Like they really show us that love is unconditional. I mean, we know that we love our typical kids regardless of how they score on a spelling test or how they compete in a basketball game.
Right.
But when we see our kids, they're really, you have to take away all the conditions that life puts on them.
Yeah.
And we have to really remember that like love is beyond any sort of condition that we might put for society. And then you have to think that if God is love and we are love, then these children belong 100%, no questions asked, no bars held. They belong. And that also pushes us to open up our idea of what it means to belong.
Oh, I love
And
that. Yeah.
I think that really just helps us usher in this bigger idea of who God is and what God is doing, that even now I read the Bible and I read it in such a different way, where I used to see, like, and make all your paths straight, and like, okay, well, that's like, let's go in one singular way, and that's that. Well, now I see it as like, when you lay a path straight, you're laying it out for accessibility, not only for those who
Oh,
are
I love it.
able-bodied, but those who
Yeah.
use wheels, those who have difficulty with whatever sort of movement, and that allows access to all. And I think that that's the thing, is that in God's world, everyone belongs. And our life experience with these kids just really highlights what that looks like.
Oh my God, that was so profound. That's a clip for sure. And I want to add to it. In God's world, everyone belongs and is worthy and
Mm.
valuable. And I struggled with that with Mary Elizabeth for a while because I grew up in perfectionism, right? Do,
Oh,
produce, achieve, be the best, excel. And that's how you get love, or that's how you're loved or worthy or valuable or whatever. And so, I've spent hours watching Mary Elizabeth do nothing, right? Nothing. She doesn't produce anything. She doesn't build anything that society would say is strong, is
right,
worthy or valuable. And yet she is the most worthy, valuable thing that I know.
right.
And the people around her that know her feel the same way. Like she gives more than maybe even a neurotypical kid. Like she gives more. I'll say maybe. I mean, she does. And so that's like, I don't know, that's been a big thing for me because automatically accepted it about Mary Elizabeth, right? I love her unconditionally. That I feel that pure love from her. But I didn't integrate that for myself until, I spent years and years and years watching her and realizing, oh my gosh, she is love.
Yeah. And
Period. Yeah.
yeah, I mean, we see her and we don't hear her, right? Like, I mean, she makes sounds, but she's not communicating in the same way that we do. And it reminds us also that communication is not just verbal. And for her, even with limited body movements and her contractures and things that may make her motions not as intentional as ours, she's still communicating. And I
Totally.
think that also widens up our idea of where are we getting our information from, and where do we hear and see God in our world. I think, she is expressing a part of all of that without even necessarily the intention, but she's changing lives all around her. Everybody who meets her is encountering God's grace, and it's a beautiful thing that she helps us um, just connect in a different way.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it helps me understand for sure. And I love that you said we communicate in a different way. Like, I think her communication is coded. I think she is speaking all the time. And I
Oh, yes.
have to learn the language. And I am learning the language. And when it connects and when it hits, I'm like, oh my God, you're so amazing. Like, I get it. Um,
Yeah, and that's also the other thing. It's like, okay, well, let's scrap our idea of what language is, and that English is the only way, or whatever language and things,
yeah.
we have to open up our minds into this whole other realm.
Yeah.
And also opening ourselves up to be moved and affected, and to take the help that all this life requires.
Yeah. Can we talk about that for a second? Can we talk about needing help, um, and how it relates to like God and spirituality and like how we're doing this here in our community?
Oh yeah, I think like this is one of the hardest things for me personally because I do not like needing help. I value my independence. And then when I see my son, I think, oh, I just need to help him. And then I realize he also values his own independence. And just because he's not doing it in the same way I would doesn't mean that it's wrong. Just because he's not doing it at the same speed I would doesn't mean it's wrong. And there are times when I myself, as what we would say capable I am, I need help.
Yeah. Oh, I love it.
And that has been one of the biggest learning curves for me is asking for help and accepting help. But I think also that aspect of our journey with parenting is a connection with the relationship of our triune God, and that God is relationship, and that relationships are what make up the body of Christ.
Yeah.
Relationships are what make up the church on earth. Relationships are what make us up in and of ourselves. And the more relationships, I think, the more love and the more difference we see. I read a quote a long time ago that I wish I could remember where it was from and exactly how it said. It was like God is too big to be captured in any one individual, and that is why diversity exists. Is like diversity exists on this huge spectrum because God is too big to be captured in any one individual.
Yeah, I love that. As Zippy needs less help, you're realizing you need to ask for help or more help.
Right.
The lessons teach
100%.
us every day. I really struggle with asking for help too. I still do. It still makes me super uncomfortable, like skin crawling,
Yes.
feeling really yucky, about myself and everything. But I've gotten in the habit of asking for help. I've gotten in the habit of praying for God to send me the helpers.
Oh, wow.
And that's been a very specific prayer. I've been doing it for months now. And I will say that the helpers are coming. And a lot of times I'm not having to ask, which is the hard part for me. But it's like, it's like there's a connection made somehow. And then we start talking, and then they're like, oh, I could help with that. And I want to help with that. And I've had a good friend tell me that once because I wasn't asking for help and I was drowning. And she said, you know what? When you take that away from me, like you're taking that away from me, like it makes me feel good to help other people. It makes me
Mm-hmm.
to help you because I love you and I want to help you. And so when you are like when you block that, when you are all up in your ego of like, I can do it myself, um, you're robbing from me, you're stealing from me joy. And I was just like, huh? What? It didn't make sense until I started thinking about the feeling I get when I help others.
Right.
And that,
Isn't that something? I mean, I think like we were built to be in community and relationships, and here in our Western civilization, in our 2025 world, we try to be as self-sufficient as possible because for me, I don't want to burden anyone.
right.
I
You
think,
were right.
I'm going to burden someone. But like you said, people actually want to be a part of our life, and sometimes asking for help is the only way people know how to
Yeah,
join our our life. I
that's
mean,
good. Yeah.
if we don't ask for it, they don't know because our world and our needs are different than maybe the typical family. And so it also reminds us of our own vulnerability, which
Mhm.
also just opens us up to the power of prayer and the power of helpers. Because
Yeah.
I think the power of prayer is really in the fact that like that prayer is opening us up to accept and to
Yeah. That's good.
see what's around us.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I think, with my daughter, we really talk about, okay, well, where did you see the helpers? Where did you see the helpers today? We ask her that a lot. And then where did you help? And just to notice that, like there is so much going on in the world that requires help and that is help. And so if we notice it now, then maybe it won't be such a big, you know, oh my
Right.
goodness, a source of almost shame for somebody
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
me
No, right. It is. It is a
in her
source of
future.
shame. Yeah. I like that a lot. Prayer opens us up to accepting and seeing the help around us. Yeah. And you notice like if you are looking for something specific, you see it everywhere, right?
Right.
Looking for a white car, I'm going to see every single white car on the road.
Yeah.
So if I'm looking for a helper, and praying for a helper, they show up.
Hmm. I mean, we used to do all of this parenting in a tribe kind of
Yeah.
community. Like it
Yeah.
used to just be expected that we would help take care of one another's children,
Mhm.
and everybody would be doing their own thing and we were all in it together. And it's been less and less that way, but I think it's really important that we remember, we were created for community, and especially with us not having family anywhere in the
Right.
state. I mean,
It's so hard.
we're even further removed from that sort of idea of helping each other.
Yeah. And it takes a village to raise any kid, and it takes lots of helpers to raise our kids.
Yeah, because it's not only helping them, it's helping us help
Right.
them.
Helping us. Yeah.
I
And
mean,
yeah,
I
yeah.
talked to my
Go ahead.
partner about how I love him so much, but he cannot be everything for me. He cannot fill up every need I have. And so that's why we have other people in our life. And some of us like me need more people and people like him. Um, and I think that's also beautiful, is like recognizing, some people are better at helping in different ways, and that's okay too. Like
Yeah. Yeah,
that
and
just
help looks
reminds.
really different. Help looks really different, I think,
Hmm.
for different people in different situations. Yeah, I like that a lot. Um, I didn't I didn't realize that because I have a long-term caregiver who helps me, Brittany, who and we'll talk about
Yeah.
Brittany on the show because she's a huge part of my life,
Yeah.
of our life. And she was hired to take care of Mary Elizabeth, and she does an excellent job doing that. But since my divorce, and since I've been on my own the last 5 or 6 years, she has really had to help me too. And
Hmm.
I had all those feelings of shame and guilt and not being worthy and like, oh, you should be doing more for her. Don't think about me, And she pulled me aside once, and she's been a long-term caregiver. So she's done this for for over a decade, if not more. And she said, if you're out of commission, I can't do it on my own. And so you
Hmm.
have to be on your A game, get plenty of sleep. You have to be in tip-top shape so that you can do what you need to do so that I can assist and help. Um, and I never really
Yeah.
thought about that until I really had an issue with my body. And I want to talk about your issue as well. Where, yeah, my body stopped working for me. Like I did it.
Hmm.
I pushed so hard for, 40, 30, 40 years. Um, nonstop, nonstop, go, 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 go. I can do it. I'm a super, mom, all the things.
Yes.
And then literally one day my body was like, mm-mm, no, I had zero control over my central nervous system. I couldn't eat anything. I couldn't drink anything. I couldn't keep anything down. I had like some weird twitchy thing, which is central nervous system overstimulation of cortisol, I learned. And I was like out of commission, like I literally couldn't. And that was humbling and
Oh, yeah.
terrifying. Um, And from that day, I have been very intentional and purposeful of like, I have to take care of myself too. And when I'm feeling guilty about it or when I'm feeling selfish about it, I tell myself, remember, remember. And because that doesn't help Mary Elizabeth at all. And so taking care of me helps Mary Elizabeth. And so if I don't want to do it for myself, which I'm doing it for myself now, but before I was there, it was like I'm doing this for Mary Elizabeth.
Yeah, I'm taking care of me for her. Yeah,
Right.
I get
Right.
that. You have to figure out however you get to
Yes.
that point, whatever logic it takes, you just have
Right.
to get there and
Yeah.
then work on it as you grow.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is hard to
And
to
the lesson is a hard learned lesson because I learned it the hard way. You learned it the hard way. Can we talk just a bit about that? Are you comfortable talking
yeah,
about
of course,
learning
sure.
your lesson the hard way? What happened? What happened?
Yeah, I mean, like that, there's that famous book, The Body Keeps the Score. It does. I mean, if we're not listening and responding and taking care of all of our needs, then at some point we will be faced with the reality of the situation that
Right.
we are not superheroes and we are not God.
Right.
And yeah, so I also did not, well, here, let me say this. It's so much easier for me to tell other people what to do. And I am the biggest hypocrite in this area. And taking care of myself, I will make sure everybody else does it, but not practice what I preach.
Yeah.
I was not taking care of myself. I thought if any part of my being, of my existence, is doing anything in the world, it needs to be for these people, these little tiny humans that I created. Because if I created them, that means it's all my responsibility. But I was forgetting about the bigger picture that there were helpers in the world and that I am one of them. And if I'm not helping myself, then I can't help them. I mean, it's that whole analogy that I love to use about the baby birds. Unless the mama eat, the babies don't eat. The mom has to eat enough in order to give her babies food.
Yeah.
And and I think that that's a beautiful thing that is really hard when it comes to your own self to recognize.
Yeah.
But yeah, I was losing it. I mean, I my weight was getting off the chart. That affected my blood pressure, that affected my sleep, that affected my joints. My entire body was suffering, also at the expense of my mental health.
Right.
I
Yeah. I was
was,
gonna say, don't
you
forget that
know,
part. Right. Yeah.
I mean, that's a huge part. I mean, I wasn't making sure I was getting the sunshine I need. I mean, I have seasonal affective disorder and I was not acknowledging that. You know, I was like, well, I need to be wherever my children are. I wasn't giving myself the space. To be honest, I've never been like a super nurturing person, and it
I
was
would
even
not believe that in a million years, but keep going.
it was a difficult decision, even between my partner and I, whether we would try and have children at first, because I was like, well, I mean, that's fun and I would like it, but then again, I have to take care of them for the rest of their lives. Like, do I want that? I mean, I'm I like to have my own life.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so,
Yeah.
I was like, yeah, if it happens, it happens. And, I'm going to be really excited. And of course, then I was like really looking forward to having kids and I wanted it, but I was still like, well, my life is still going to be my own. But it just, I mean, and I realized right away,
Right.
my, what I wanted my life to be changes also because the love that comes with a child.
Right.
Um, and so my priorities changed, not because I like it, just love changed it. And I think that that's okay too. But I still find myself being the one who does more of the big work and the house management and the making sure we have the resources and that there's things for the children to do and we have the tools that we need to do the therapy and we have all these things. But my husband really is the one that has the boots on the ground that's doing the hands-on,
Yeah.
most of like that hard labor work that it
Right.
takes with children, and then with having a child with arthrogryposis that needs hands, feet, somebody to do the things.
Yeah.
Anyway, I'm going off on a tangent that basically I was a mess. My body, my mind, my soul, my every single thing. I was not in sync with myself. I was out of whack. And I had this all of a sudden, like, okay, Zippy, I think, was around 18 months when I was like, oh, I can do this, but
Yeah.
I'm not going to do it well
Yeah.
unless I'm taking care of my own self.
Yeah.
And what I was doing was not sustainable. And that's when I had to start prioritizing myself and following what all of Zippy's providers were also
Right.
telling me, like,
Everyone's
take
saying.
care of your own self.
Yeah, I love
Um,
that. I'm
okay.
so glad that you started doing that and I can see it and I can feel it from you. And I think every time one of us takes that step, um, it's a step for all of us. It like
Oh
that
yeah,
makes sense. It's collective. And
yeah.
And so, yeah, I'm so grateful for you to do that because like I call you when I need you on your A game too. You know what I mean? I'm saying I need you to be okay. Okay, Cindy, we're almost out of time. I want to wrap up. I don't want it to just cut us off, but I want to end with something tiny, something small, or something big. But what is love to you?
Mm, I think it's it's not about our own capacity. It's about living into the abundance that's around us.
Love it.
Um,
Yeah, I love
I
that.
don't know if that makes sense, but it's there's so much more than what I think we limit love way too much sometimes. And I think if we realize that it's all around us and overflowing for us, for our children, and between us. I mean, I celebrate every single thing that you celebrate because
Right.
um that
Because
again,
we're
that
all
bond,
connected by love. Yeah, I love it.
right?
I call it Christ flow energy, but
Mm,
it's the same thing. And when I'm living what I call in the flow, it
yeah.
feels like love. Right?
Yeah. And
Yeah.
it's not always easy, but it's
No.
always there. I
Yeah.
think sometimes we just have to tap into it, right? We just have to like find that frequency and remember, like, regardless of everything else, like,
Right.
love is still there.
Yeah. This is it. And it's not going away. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I love it. Oh, friend, it was so good to see you. This is what I have to do to see you and have a conversation.
Hey, if that's what it takes, we
Right,
will
I will
make it
do it
happen.
again. That's right. That's right. Oh my gosh. Well, thank you, Mom, for offering your time and your wisdom and your knowledge and your heart. You're one of the most beautiful people inside and out that I know. And I am so very grateful to have met you. How many years has it been? It's been like four since Zippy
Yeah,
was little, right?
yeah, about there. Yeah. About four
Yeah.
years.
I'm like so happy to have you.
Oh, me too.
So
Life is so much better with you in it.
yeah, same. Okay. All right. I love you, friend. Take care. Give the babies hugs and kisses for me. And thanks again.
All right. Love and light.
Okay. Bye. Mwah.
Bye.